Recording, gentlemen. So before we start this, if I can get each of your names, please.
Matt Rose.
Peter Lemon.
Geoff Petrie.
And you guys are known as?
The Matinee.
And the new album is called?
Dancing on Your Grave.
And isn't that also the single, too?
That is the lead single.
All right, let's do this, gentlemen. First, thanks for doing this interview with me. You guys are, of course, from Vancouver. You're here in Toronto. Is this the first time you guys have been in Toronto?
No, we've been out here a lot of times. It's been a while since we've been out here. It's been a solid year and a half since we've been out here. But we've been out here for tours, Canadian Music Week, festivals, you name it. We've been out here a lot.
Well, one of your favorite places to perform, I guess? You have to say yes, because we're in Toronto, and if you say no, I don't know what's going to do for you guys performing here again.
Of course, it's the best. The best.
I want to talk about with this new album, and of course, how you guys got together, because you guys are like high school buddies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We all graduated the same year in high school, and the three of us had a band going on. Our singer was in a different band with our old bass player and our old keyboard player. Like, there was a really good music scene in our high school.
Actually, we're not having him in the interview right now. He's sort of taking a rest. But if he wants to just jump in really quick, just to say a big, quick hello.
Hello.
There we go. I got half his head. There. What do you think it is that drew you guys together?
Our love of music, you know, and we were all, after high school, we were all sort of dabbling here and there in different projects. And then after a little while, we all just sort of said to ourselves, hey, well, we all still like this and we're still doing it, so let's all do it together.
You guys came up with a sound people are calling roots rock. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, people try to slap a label and really fit you into a box or whatever. If you look at roots rock, yeah, there are some roots elements, like roots traditional, like we have some mandolin, some banjo, some pedal steel from time to time, but it's rock and roll. Okay, so it's mostly rock with a bit of roots.
There you go. And you guys have performed at a lot of different places, but can you explain to me about performing in a prison?
Well, that was a while ago. We used to be tied in with the BC Schizophrenia Society. We're from Vancouver, so it was kind of a government-funded program that took us to a lot of high schools and prisons and colleges. It was half educational, the performances, and half music-based, right, to keep people's interaction. And we were sent to a prison in Prince George a bunch of years ago and played for the inmates as well as doing the kind of presentation there. So it was, we joke, say it was a captive audience.
You know, we always talk, people talk about how Johnny Cash, of course, performed in the prison. Seriously, though, what was it like for you guys to do that for those inmates?
It was a little intimidating at first, you know, because we were set up on this, you know, small stage, and it was just a horseshoe of inmates, you know, sitting in front of us, not 10 feet away. And the security guards were there, and then they walked out, and, you know, we're just kind of like, okay, well, I hope you guys like this next little number.
It was a federal prison, so there were people there who'd done some bad things, right? But obviously they don't get stuff like that coming through the prison with any sort of regularity. So, you know, as intimidating as it was for us, I think for them it was a cool experience, right? To get something out of their regular daily routine, right? So I think they were actually all pretty appreciative of the whole thing.
You know, musically too, what do you guys like to write about lyrically? What kind of stories do you guys like to write?
Matt does a lot of the writing, Halfhead over there, does a lot of the writing lyrically. And a lot of it comes from personal experience. I mean, we've traveled so much together and we've had a lot of just great road stories, so sometimes that's what comes into a song. Sometimes it's like the title track on the new record. It comes from a loss in the family and a tough sort of period, coming back into something really positive and being able to celebrate you know, on the other half of that bad thing coming back to something positive. So it really could come from anything, to be quite honest. I mean, lyrically, some of it's about places we've been, some of it's about things that we've done, and some of it just comes, sometimes the words just come to you. Sometimes, you know.
Maybe some of it comes from when certain band members go to the home opener of the Blue Jays, and they're really hungover on the day that we're doing all of the media stuff. So there's some animosity in the band, so you write about, you know, your feelings for each other.
All right, so basically, how was the Blue Jay game, man?
Good. It was it was my first MLB game, and there's this thing of a tall can every inning, and there's a lot of innings, and it was a really fun time, I think.
I'm trying to remember who did the national anthem again.
Jess Moskaluk. Yeah, she was
How'd she do?
fantastic. She's a really great singer, and I can't imagine getting up in front of that many people. No instruments, no nothing, just belting out those anthems. She was outstanding. She always is.
You never know, man. That could happen for you guys, man, especially with this album. But I want to talk a little bit about the first album you guys released.
That was back in 2013. It was called We Swore We'd See the Sunrise.
Yeah, and an interesting name. Why?
Well, at the time, it was a lyric from one of our songs, Absinthe, that we were playing all the time. But the idea behind it was that even back then, we'd been playing together for a bunch of years. And it was kind of our looking forward to, like, you know, persisting through the kind of dark times and in our personal lives, but also, you know, playing the dingy clubs, playing to nobody, all those, you know, the struggles that a lot of bands go through out on the road and stuff. And it was about kind of making it through that process to see the sunrise, to kind of see a light at the end of the tunnel. And now 4 years later, we're still looking for the light at the end of the tunnel with this.
You are, but with this album, though, man, you guys went for some major producers and stuff. Talk a little bit about that, please.
Jamie Candeloro out of LA. He works with Ryan Adams, I should say, not Brian Adams. And he was a blast to work with. He really elevated our game, I think. And he's also a drummer, so it was great to work with him. He got the drums sounding perfect, I thought. Yeah, he was a riot. Great guy, very personable, and I think we're all very happy with the outcome.
What do you think he brought out of you guys that maybe you couldn't do maybe in the previous music?
Gosh, I think there was a lot of, like, you know, I don't know. It was a lot of, like, performance.
A lot of the record was written kind of off the floor, off the cuff. Like, we came in with a bunch of songs that we'd written, but Jamie, he didn't insist, but part of his process was like, let's all get in a room together, jam, hit record, see what we come up with. So a lot of it was kind of off the fly, trying to capture moments in studio, right? Which is how a lot of old records were made, right? A lot of our favorite records. So he was really into kind of pulling stuff out of us, like those creative moments that just happen. He'd capture them and try and get that stuff committed to tape. So it was a lot of that kind of spur of the moment ideas that just came out that ended up morphing into songs that took on lives of their own. But it was great. The process was really cool.
The album, of course, and the lead track, both the same name. What's the song about?
The song's kind of about, like Matt, who wrote the lyrics, he had loss in the family, and he'd gone through a bad breakup. And the rest of us, we toured the crap out of our 2013 album for a couple of years, and we'd spend so much time together, so much time playing these same clubs and doing these same shows and building, but really wearing ourselves down. And so there was a period there where we needed to not be in a van together and not be writing music together and just kind of take a break. And a couple of us got married. Matt had a kid. His beautiful wife had a daughter.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And Matt Layzell was going through a tougher time, a bit of a darker time, and you know, the death of his grandfather was really like kind of this what it all built up to, and that happened, and it was like a bit of an outflow of emotion and stuff. And so, you know, Matt went on a bunch of long road trips on his own and trying to find his lyrical voice again and things like that. And some of the things that had him really down are the things that he just faced, like bravely faced and took them on and got to a point with them where he could actually celebrate this. Like, his grandfather was an amazing man, and that's a big one. That's really the contributing factor to that song lyrically. He's celebrating that life and really not just saying goodbye, but hey, you know, I know you're still there with me, and we're going to keep on doing what we do.
Who came up with the idea for that cool video, though, man? I love that music video to it.
That was, well, we kind of had the idea, actually. That was Matt Layzell's kind of idea. He came to us and said, you know, there's this new technology, this Google paintbrush thing, and when we took it to a director we've worked with in the past out in Vancouver, Matt Leaf, said, this is kind of our sketch of something we see happening. Is this even possible? he came back to us, put together a team of people who had some experience working with that. And a lot of it was kind of trial by fire. They were just winging it with the technology because it's still a really new Google technology that not a lot of people are familiar with. But we kind of just dove in, and yeah, we're all pretty happy with the way it turned out.
Definitely. So where else are we going to get a chance to see you guys tour? What's happened with 2017 tour-wise? You hitting festivals, shows, what?
Yeah, we got some stuff lined up for the summer. June, I think we might be back on this side of the country, but I know we got some stuff lined up. Festivals and stuff. I think it's all starting to come in for the summer, but we got a few things happening in BC, Alberta. But it's all coming together. We'll be back soon.
So follow you guys, website, Twitter, all that fun stuff. Where do we go?
Website is thematineemusic.com. Twitter at @thematineemusic. Instagram at @thematineemusic.
Notice you're not getting any help, man. They're still mad at you about that Blue Jay game.
It was a big night for me last night. I'm digging deep for this stuff, okay? But yeah, you can find us at thematineemusic.com, and you can find everything linked there. Lots of videos, lots of music, and photos of our pretty faces.
And tonight at the Horseshoe.
There you go.
At 10:30 at one of our favorite clubs in Canada, for sure.
The legendary Horseshoe. Gentlemen, thank you so much for this interview, but more importantly, thank you for the great music.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.